All right, welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Benchute, and we're going to be going over the 8 most important parts of any outbound lead gen system. Now, if you're in the process of building a lead gen system, you're thinking about building a lead gen system, you've built a lead gen system, but it's not quite working as well as you want it to work, it's going to be a really important video because we're going to go over the 8 most important pieces that maybe you're missing a few of them and you can fix them. And you know, a lead gen system, a proven lead gen system, has the power to basically double, triple, or quadruple the MRR of your agency or the service. MRR is just monthly recurring revenue. Back when our agency was doing about $19,000 or $18,000 per month, about a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I built a lead gen system that basically doubled our monthly revenue from $19,000 to about $38,000, $40,000 per month in 4 to 5 months. And I followed these 8 principles, these 8 variables that I really got really clear on and really defined. So, you know, it has the power to really increase the revenue in your business and get you a lot more clients. So let's go through this and let's talk about it more in depth. So number 1 is simple. It's message market fit, which has a lot to do with your niche. So if you've heard of product market fit, which is very simple, product market fit is essentially, you know, the market has a desire, your product fills that desire, and that is a product market fit. So message market fit is very similar. When you think about message market fit, it's essentially, okay, that message that you're sending out to the ideal client that you want to work with, let's just say ideal prospect, that first message, whether it's a cold call, a cold email, a message on Facebook, a message on Twitter, a message on LinkedIn, doesn't matter where the message is, it's that initial outreach message where the prospect becomes aware of you directly through a message. That needs to fit with you know, what they're thinking or what they need. So essentially, if your message resonates with that prospect, and you know, they read your message and they think, wow, this is actually a pretty damn good service, or I might actually need this guy's help, you have what would be called message market fit. Okay, now this has a lot to do with your niche, because if you think you're just a digital marketer helping e-commerce businesses grow, like, you're never going to be able to reach message market fit, because that is not a niche. So let me tell you what a niche actually is. A lot of people, they have their Facebook banner profiles and it says, you know, imagine what your business would be like with an extra 30 customers or clients per month. I mean, it's insane. A niche would be something like, you know, I help, you know, dentistries, local dentistries get more, I don't know, cavity patients, or surgery, like operation patients, or I don't know, like you're a service that does SEO that helps dentistries get more patients for a specific type of surgery or problem that the dentists do, okay? That's a niche, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. If you're watching this video and you're a digital marketer and you're trying to just help e-commerce businesses grow, that was a niche at some point. 10 years ago or 12 years ago, in 2006 and 2008, when the internet was really emerging, that was an epic niche to be in. Like, that was seriously a niche. There was not a lot of people doing digital marketing 10 years ago. Okay, so niches change over time, and since now everybody and their mom knows how to do digital marketing, you can't just come out of the blue and say, I help e-commerce business, because the entire world is an e-commerce business, and you cannot make a message that resonates with someone when you come across as just being a digital marketer that helps businesses grow. It doesn't resonate at all. Okay, so that's number 1, and I could do a whole video on that. I've actually done a video, the first video I did on this YouTube channel, I talked about the 5 different dimensions of niches, and that's a really important video. So if you're unclear about your niche, or maybe you have a very vague, broad niche, I would check that out. Number 2 is personalization. So personalization is obviously very important. A lot of people know this. You know, they try to make their cold emails personalized, or they try to make their cold outreach messages personalized. Look, I've spent a lot of time on understanding how the hell I can get an extremely high open rate on my cold emails, how I can get an extremely high call booking rate on my outbound lead gen system. And I'll tell you about our personalization system in just a second, but this is really important. Why? Because if I send you a message that you think I've sent to 1,000 people because it looks like a templated message, you're not even going to respond, or you might respond and you'll be pissed. And I've had this before where you send a templated message and somebody says, you know what, I've gotten thousands of these fucking messages, blocked you, I'm blocking you, don't ever send me this message again. That's typically what happens when you do cold email and it's a terrible format. You know, cold email it's just, it's an awful thing to do in a mass scale when you're sending it to tens of thousands of companies, depending on your niche, but it's normally pretty bad for pretty much 99% of people. Now, a real personalization looks like this. You send an email to somebody, you know, the subject line says something like, a few mistakes, you know, I noticed, like, I forget what our subject line is, but it's something along the lines of, I noticed a few mistakes that your company was making in your advertising, or something along those lines. And the email, when you open it up, basically what it is it says, hey John, you know, I did some research on your company. That's it, that's sentence number one. And sentence number two says, like, you know, I noticed you guys are making a few mistakes with your advertising, and it's costing you between $10,000 to $20,000 per year in lost, or $10,000 to $20,000 per month in lost sales to your competitors. I made you a video below, and you know, if you can check out that video, it explains what these mistakes are. Now, below that sentence, second sentence in the email or the message on Facebook or whatever it is a thumbnail of a video with a press play button, and half of the thumbnail shows my face and half of it shows their product or their website on the thumbnail. So it's super personalized, right? Like, it's a video, it shows their company, it shows their product, it shows my face. It's as personalized as you could possibly get in an email without doing a, you know, a cold call or anything like that. So that's our personalization. That gets an extremely high open rate, an extremely high response rate, and an extremely high call booking rate, which we'll get into in just a second. Our call booking rate is about 9.45%. But let's dive into this. So the third thing is painful value. And this is, you know, if you've got your niche figured out, this then becomes the second most important thing. All right, so what is painful value? Well, like I said, you know, the lead gen system that we use is we send, you know, this email that has a video and a thumbnail with their product in the thumbnail and my face. So it's very personalized. But painful value is what is inside that video that we send them. And you don't have to send a video, but it's essentially like, imagine if I was, you know, me and you went for coffee, and let's just say you have a business, and I don't know, let's just say you have a, I don't know, like an SEO agency or something like this. And I look into your website, and for some reason I notice a few mistakes that you're making, and I say, you know, hey John, or whatever your name is, you know, look, I checked out your website, and these are some mistakes you're making that's costing you guys around like $10,000 or $20,000 per month in lost sales to your competitors. Like, you know, you guys could fix this and make a lot more money. And I show it to you on your computer screen, and you believe it because I actually prove it to you. I show you with real data and statistics, and I show you like, hey, look, I actually solved these clients for I solved this problem for previous clients, and their businesses grew by $10,000 to $20,000 per month. Yours is pretty much the exact same. I mean, you know, this is the problem that you have. You're gonna be like, holy shit, you know, that's a big problem. It's also very valuable what I just told you, right? Because you were previously not aware that you were losing $10,000 to $20,000 per month. But now you're aware of it, but not only are you aware of it, but you don't know how to fix it. So it's very painful at the same time. It's valuable but painful at the same time, because you're now aware that you're missing out or you're losing a lot of money to your competitors, but you don't know how to fix it. So it's very painful. And this is the approach that we take in our lead gen system when we send you know, ideal prospects in that first email or that first message on Facebook. We send them that video. In that video is literally a video of me talking and showing them the mistakes that they're making live on their website or on their Amazon in their advertising. And I basically tell them like, hey, these are 2 mistakes that you're making that we know for sure is costing you $10,000 to $20,000 per month in lost sales to your competitors. And then I prove it to them, and I show them real data, and I actually, you know, show them facts and things that solidify the claims that I'm making. Like, I'm not just making claims and not backing it up with facts. I actually back it up with facts. And that is painful value. Now, at the end of the video, I basically tell them, hey, if you need some help with these problems, you know, I'd be happy to jump on a 15-minute call if you want. That's it. I don't tell them, hey, I really want to hop on a 15-minute call, blah, blah, blah. I basically, very genuine approach, which we'll get into in just a second. Now, some of you might be watching this, and I've had a lot of people come to me and they say, hey, this sounds great, but you know what? I just don't think it's a good thing to reach out to business owners or people and tell them they're making mistakes, because business owners have egos, and you know, you gotta be careful about their ego. It's pretty sensitive, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of bullshit. I'm gonna tell you right now, it comes down to selling Advil or selling vitamins, okay? Now, the people that think that giving painful value and calling people out on mistakes that they're making is the wrong way to do it, they got their psychology all messed up. Of course, nothing's black and white, but let me give you this analogy, all right? The flip side of telling people that they're making a few mistakes and that it's costing them $10,000 to $20,000 per month in lost sales is you could tell them, instead of saying that, you could say, hey, I noticed that, you know, you guys could make an extra $10,000 to $20,000 per month by doing these 2 to 3 things. So I could say they're making 2 to 3 mistakes that's costing them, or I could say they could do 2 to 3 things that could make them an extra. Okay, now this here, this side that's costing them is the painkiller side. This side, the thing that, hey, you could make more money, is the vitamin side. Now here's the pitch, all right? It's really simple. You know, Advil sells more than vitamins, and for the most simple reason in the world. And you can also charge way more for Advil, for painkiller. Now here's why. Let's say you're in excruciating pain. You got the most intense migraine or headache you've ever felt in your entire life. You know, what can you do while you're having that migraine? Nothing. You're fucking pissed off. You've got a migraine. You feel like shit. You can't do anything. You're sitting on the couch. You're laying down on the couch. You're literally like, you're unable to do anything. You can't work out. You can't even really eat because you're in so much pain. And you would be willing to do anything or pay any amount for an instant solution that would take away the migraine, such as Advil, which is why the company is so damn successful, because they take away headaches. So the next thing is, let's just imagine that you're really healthy. Let's imagine that you rarely get sick. And all of a sudden I come along and I say, hey dude, like I got these vitamins, and you know, it'll prevent you from getting sick. It'll keep you healthier. Your body you'll have a bit more energy. And you know, it's something you should take for your body. I know you're pretty healthy anyways, but you know, it'll help your body. And you think, yeah, I'm already healthy. I don't really need much help with this. No, and you keep walking along. Now, some people might buy it, but still, you can see the difference here. A painkiller is much more powerful than a vitamin. It's that simple, because when someone's in excruciating pain, they want the solution right away, and they're willing to pay more to get that solution because the pain is causing them and blocking them from doing anything else. The vitamin, it's just there, like, you know, like it's there. You don't really need to take it. It's not holding you back from doing anything. It's not like you're losing anything. It's just, it'll help a little bit. So when you think about, should you tell people they're making mistakes, or should you tell them that they could be making more money, always pick mistakes. Because yeah, some people might be offended, some people might have a large ego, but if you back it up with facts and you prove it to them that they're making these mistakes and it's costing them money, doesn't matter how large their ego is, they will understand that you're just trying to help them out, and that they'll be willing to talk to you and book a call with you and potentially work with you, all right? So now that we've gone through that was really important, let's talk about the shortness, 1 to 3 minutes. Now look, a lot of people send messages to me. I've received this, and you've probably received this so many times as well. You know, they send you a message on Facebook or on LinkedIn or via email, and it's like fucking Harry Potter coming at you, like it's the longest thing you've ever seen. And you look at it and you're just like, oh my God, like I'm not even gonna read this, it's so fucking long. You just delete it, you get rid of it. Maybe you respond and you tell the person, no thanks. You don't even read the thing, you don't even respond. That's typically what happens when you don't respect people's time, all right? You've probably heard this before, that the average attention span of human beings right now is like less than 7 seconds, less than that of a goldfish. They don't have a lot of time to read your shit, all right? So keep it very short. When I send this video to CEOs, people that are doing 7 or 8 figures, business owners that have pretty successful businesses, and they're probably pretty busy. Look, I make sure that the video that I send them in the email is 1 to 3 minutes. The email itself has less than like 70 or 50 words in it. The email itself is really short. Sorry, not 50 words. I was thinking characters, but it's probably actually more than that. The email itself probably has only like 20 or 25 words in it. It's very, very short. I wouldn't be surprised if it was less than 30 words. So they can read the entire email in about 10 to 15 seconds if they're very quick at reading. They can then watch the video in about 1 to 2 minutes. The video length that we send them is 2 minutes and 11 seconds long. It's very short. Now, believe me, I've tested this. I'm not just saying this because I read some books. I'm saying this because I've sent hundreds of painful, valuable videos in a cold email approach to 7 to 8 figure business owners that were 10 to 15 minute long. And I checked the analytics in Wistia, and pretty much everybody, 70 to 80% of the people would only watch 1 to 3 minutes of the video. So I just figured, you know what the hell, if they're only watching 1 to 3 minutes, I'm just gonna make the video like 1 to 3 minutes long. So I made the video 2 minutes and 11 seconds long. I condensed it down, and now, you know, it gets a huge engagement rate. People watch 70 to 80% of it, maybe even 90 to 100%, because it's short. So they watch a lot more of it. Now, that's really important. You want to respect people's time. The easier it is for them to read, the shorter it is, the more likely they are to actually read it. If it just looks like a chapter out of Harry Potter, they're never going to read it. The next thing is you got to be genuine. Like, you can't come across as a salesperson. You have to come across with a certain vibe where the person feels like you're just trying to help. So that's why I said this here. Like, in this video, when I'm explaining the mistakes that the company is making, I'm not bashing them. I'm not trying to make them feel bad. I have a very good tonality. My approach is very simple. I'm just telling them, hey, look, I noticed these mistakes that you guys are making, so I wanted to reach out to you and make sure you guys are aware of them. Mistake number one is this. It's probably costing between $5,000 to $10,000 per month. I know this because we have clients who are just like you, doing 7 to 8 figures, and we've fixed these mistakes for them before, and it's made them an extra $5,000 to $10,000 per month. And here's some analytics and some data to actually back that up. I'm not bullshitting or anything. These are some actual real clients, results, blah, blah, blah. Mistake number two is this, right? So it's very genuine. I'm just saying that. And at the end of the video, I usually say something. I think it's something along the lines of, hey, look, if you guys are, if you need help fixing these mistakes, I would love to hop on a 10 to 15 minute call if you want, and I can see if I can help you guys out with these mistakes. If not, no worries, but just keep in mind, the purpose of this video was to try to, make you guys aware of these problems, and because we would like to work with somebody in this niche, in this space, the category or whatever the type of products that they're selling. And if you guys don't want to consider it, that's totally fine. We're just going to probably reach out to your competitors, right? So I actually say that, and I'm very blunt and direct with it. It's very interesting. It gets a 9.45% call booking rate. I don't know if it's because of what I say at the end or the whole video. I think it's everything. But yeah, I'm very blunt, and that leads into the next thing, which is blunt. All right. So you're genuine, but you're also blunt. You have to give them the call to action at the end of the video, at the end of the email, whatever it is. Whether it has to have some form of call to action, like, hey, book a call. Hey, respond to this email. Let me know if you want to book a call. Whatever. I just like to keep it simple. Book a 15-minute call. Here's my calendar link. Boom. That's it. Right. You can be direct and blunt and simple like that as long as you've personalized the email, you've provided painful value, you kept it short, there's message market fit, you're genuine. If you have all of these things, there is no problem with being very blunt and just sending your calendar link in the bottom of the email and saying, hey, book a 15-minute call. There's no problem with that. But you have to have these other things, or else this will come across as, I don't know what the right word, rude or inappropriate or too blunt, too direct. It'll come across as those things if you don't have these other things, all right? And the last two are so important. Scalability is so important. So how long does it take to plant one seed? Okay, this is the question you need to ask yourself. So let's say you build this lead gen system, you follow this process, great. The next thing you want to ask yourself is, how scalable is this? How do you find out how scalable a lead gen system is? Well, it's simple. You got to ask yourself, how long does it take you to find the prospect and reach out to the prospect and start the sales process with them, right? So how long does it take you to find the ideal prospect and send them that first message with the video or with the screenshot or whatever it is that you're sending them to them? And when I started, it took me to plant one seed, which is the same as reaching out to one company. It took me 45 minutes to an hour to just do one company. I remember this because I was starting my lead gen system. I was about 19 years old. Agency was doing about $10,000 to $12,000 per month. And I started doing this, and it took me like an hour to reach out to one company, to find a company, reach out to them. It was way too long. So I had a terrible lead gen system. It wasn't terrible. It was just that it was not that scalable. It took way too long. And we'll get into this in just a second. But anyways, I refined it down, made it simpler, and we are now able to plant one seed in 5 to 7 minutes. Typically, sorry, not 5 to 7 minutes. I think it's 7 to 10 minutes. Because the video itself, oh yeah, probably 5 to 7 minutes. The video itself is only 2 minutes, 11 seconds, 1 minute to prospect, 2 minutes to find the emails. Yeah, so it's about 5 to 7 minutes to plant one seed, because the video itself takes the virtual assistant 3 minutes to make. It takes them another 1.5 minutes to find a prospect, and it takes them another 1.5 minutes to basically, to send the email or send the messages out to all the different channels. So we got the numbers down very specific. And this is an important question. If it takes longer than an hour to plant one seed, it's not scalable at all. It should only take about 10 minutes to find a company and reach out to them. That's a really decent time frame. The next thing is simplicity. This is the last and most important one, because something might be scalable, but then you got to ask yourself, how simple is it to do, right? Could anybody do this? Could I just take somebody off the streets, give them an SOP, and would they be able to do that? So the question you got to ask yourself to figure out how scalable your lead gen system, your outbound lead gen system is can a VA run the whole system? Can a virtual assistant run the whole system? That's the question. In the beginning, when I was 19 and I started building this lead gen system, the virtual assistant could not run the system. Now, our system, our lead gen system, our outbound lead gen system, Trojan Horse Marketing, can be run by a virtual assistant. And so it's very simple, right? We made it very simple. The SOPs are important, they're necessary, but it's so simple that they can, you know, it takes them 3 to 5 to 7 minutes to reach out to a company and plant a seed, and they can run the whole system. They can get the calendar booked up with qualified 15-minute calls, right? Like introduction, audit calls, which we'll get to in just a second. But they can run this whole system and get my calendar booked up, right? That's the purpose of it, because you don't want to be stuck doing this system day after day monotonously. It's not that fun. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that. And so it's very important that a virtual assistant can run your whole lead gen system. If they can't, you know, if you need somebody that's a bit more expensive, like somebody from the United States, a domestic person, I mean, I would say that's pretty rare. Like, it just means that you haven't refined the lead gen system down enough. Pretty much any lead gen system can be built to the point where a virtual assistant can do it. If there's cold calling involved, you know, then you'll need somebody that's probably domestic that speaks perfect English, but you can still find that person for much cheaper in other countries like Poland or Serbia, or different places like this. We hired an SDR from Serbia. She was phenomenal. She was cold calling the companies that we would send these emails to. But after we sent the email and they opened the email and they watched a bit of the video, if they didn't respond, they would receive a warm call. It wasn't a cold call because they were already aware of us, and they would receive a warm call. And basically the warm call would go like this. It would be like, hey, did you see that video we sent you? And we know that they saw it because somebody in their company saw it. And if they said no, we would say, all right, well, you know, can you check out this video we sent you? Because it's a really important video. It goes over a few mistakes. It's cost you guys $10,000 to $20,000 per month in lost sales to your competitors. And they'll typically be like, all right, yeah, where did you send the video? And then we'll say, okay, well, yeah, we sent it to this email or blah, blah, blah. What email? What's your email? We want to send it to your email. I was trying to get a hold of John. I know he's the CEO. He's probably super busy, but you know, would it be possible for you to get this video to John, or for me to maybe speak to John for just a couple minutes, see if he got the video, whatever it is? There's a script that she'll go through to try to increase the call booking rate of this system. But back to the simplicity of it, you don't need an SDR from a domestic SDR. You could just have a virtual assistant run the system and get you 3 to 5 qualified sales calls per week, and it's not that hard. You just need to really refine it down. So those are the 8 things. Now let's just briefly talk about what this looks like in the format. So this is kind of what it looks like. We send the initial message that has the video in it. It talks about how, hey, John, I did some research on your company. I noticed you guys are making a few mistakes that's costing you X, Y, Z. And here's this video that I made for your company to explain the mistakes, blah, blah, blah. And then it looks like this. So there's that email. You know, we send them the message on Facebook or email or LinkedIn, whatever it is. And then there's like a little play button thumbnail, and they can see the thumbnail, and you know, they see the video with their product or their website and my face and blah, blah, blah. And then after that, you know, in the purpose of this video is to deliver a ton of painful value and to get them to want to book a call, right? Because if they watch this video, they're going to have a lot of pain, and they're going to think, we need to fix this problem. How do I fix this problem? Well, the Advil to that problem would be booking a call with me, the person who made them aware of the problem. And so what they do is then they would book a 15-minute phone call. On that 15-minute phone call, it's really simple. I'm basically just talking to them. I'm saying if a CEO or whoever it is, you know, 7-8 figure company, they book a call with me, they see the video, the cold outbound approach, they like it, they book a call. It's a 15-minute call. I just hop on the call, I say, hey, John, thanks for booking a call. You know, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Small talk for about 1 to 2 minutes. Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. And then I say, okay, well, hey, look, we can dive right into this call if you want. They'll say, all right, yeah, let's dive right into this call. And I'll tell them, okay, well, typically how these calls go is I'm just going to ask a bunch of questions about your business, get a deeper understanding as to what you guys are doing with your advertising, and you know, to see if, you know, we could potentially even help you guys out. He says, okay, that sounds great, sure. My first question is very simple, John. I just wanted to ask you, you know, what's the primary reason why you decided to book the call? John will usually say, well, fuck, I saw your video, and you know, I didn't realize how shit our advertising was, or I didn't realize we were making so many damn mistakes, and I just want to see if you guys could help. Great. All right. My next question is this. Blah, 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 blah. I ask a bunch of questions, and usually by the end of that phone call, I'll send over an NDA. We'll get access to their advertising account. We'll then start the process of doing an audit. And 24 hours later, we'll hop on a second call with John, the CEO, and I'll review the audit with John. That second call is usually no longer than 15 to 20 minutes. And that is where we will close the client, because we'll review the audit with them. And our sales system is so simple. We just say, hey, look, I did an audit on your company. Here's the numbers. And based on the audit, we can probably make you guys an extra $30,000 to $60,000 per month in sales at this particular return ROI with this expected profit. And, our fee for that would be $3,000 to $4,000 per month. There's a setup fee of $3,000. And we would need to do a 3 to 6 month contract, or we would need to do a 6 month contract or a 3 month contract, depending on the client. We might say 3 months, we might say 6. And John will think, okay, well, the potential upside is 30 to 60,000. The potential, the fee is 4,000 per month. Yeah, let's do it. It's that simple. And there's really no objections pretty much ever. We can close 70 to 80% of the time because, again, we have message market fit. We have a good niche. We do all of these things correctly, and we're solving a real problem, and we're telling them how much potential money they can make. So that's our system. Hopefully you found some value in this video. And if it got you thinking about building a lead gen system, and it got you thinking more, there's certain questions that maybe got you thinking about how you can improve your current lead gen system, or how to build a lead gen system, period. That was the purpose of this video. So if you found some value in it, make sure to click that subscribe button below. I post 1 video per week. And my whole goal of this channel is to help 5 to 6 figure agency owners or service providers, people who are trying to get clients, build a profitable, proven lead gen system that can double, triple, quadruple their agency or their business's sales, and get them, ridiculous amounts of more clients at a proven, steady rate. Because that's the power of a lead gen system. And yeah, if you like this video, and if you had questions or you wanted me to dive deep on any of these specific things in another video, feel free to comment below, let me know. And if you have questions, of course, or future recommendations for future videos, I'm open to that. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe. I post a video once a week. Thanks again. Ciao.